Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Tiny Studio Big Ideas podcast, where we talk about painting and how to put a canvas together, how to put the whole painting together, and some of the tips and tricks that are involved with that, and bringing the lessons that we learn in the studio through learning how to paint into our daily lives. And today I wanted to talk about why you should be using a limited palette. If you are a beginner, in fact, I hold to the idea that even as an intermediate artist, you really need to be using a limited palette. And the reasons for this are, first of all, if you are mixing your own colors, you're able then to mix any color. You are able to understand how to lean a color towards its warm or cooler side. And, you can be using just three primary colors and you can get great results and basically paint the entire painting with those primaries plus white. Another reason to mix your own colors is so that you can really dive into all the different areas of color theory. And if you don't want to get into all the details of color theory, some of you will, some of you, like myself, and I just want to go as far as I need to go. I need to take the colors, mix them up, play with them, try and get it right. How much should I tone it down? How vibrant do I want the colors to be? What effect does that have on my painting? All of these things will bring you to a groundedness in your abilities and in your knowledge and understanding of working with colors. It is a long road, at least it was for me, to step back away from the pre-mixed tubes of paint that I just wanted to buy and use on my paintings. And um, I couldn't understand why my uh, colors were gaudy. They were too much. They were not in harmony. I just couldn't get it right. Struggled and struggled and struggled until my mentor, Colleen Coban, said, "Get rid of all those extra colors and just use the primaries." And from that day, when I began to do that, I saw that I really knew uh, very little about color and how color works and how we see color. And by limiting my palette and getting just down to the very basics, yeah, okay, I added a burnt sienna or burnt umber. Those are my two favorite earth tones, and I use those. So I have my lemon yellow, and I have a quinacridone rose, and the ultramarine blue, and burnt sienna or burnt umber, one of those two, and of course white. And I'm a fan of lead white, although we cannot get lead white here in Greece. I'm getting a substitute, and it's just a very, very beautiful white, and it works. Doesn't cool down the colors as much as the titanium white does. So, using this limited palette and understanding how it works, just these basic colors and mixing them up, I'm able to create pretty much anything. This animal portrait that I have going is with those 4 colors, the 3 primaries and a burnt sienna. And, I can do anything I mix all the colors that I need. I get my darks, my blacks by mixing the ultramarine blue with the burnt sienna, and, uh, you just create a very, very, very harmonious paintings. The other ones you see of the goats and the boat that's, on the rocks there, was used with a double primary limited palette, meaning a warm and cool yellow, a warm and cool red, and a warm and cool blue, plus burnt sienna or burnt umber or both, and white. And it really frees you up. First of all, especially when you're, beginning or an intermediate artist, it frees you up so you don't have to copy, exactly the color that you're looking at. And it's healthy to just kind of let go of the ultra details, uh, of getting exactly the same color that you're looking at. And, uh yeah, there is a place for that, and there are some, fabulous artists out there, especially the hyperrealism, people who do these incredible, works of art, and they have to get the colors right. They have to be, exact, in the value, in the, and in the tonal value of the color. Um, but for beginners and intermediate artists, and if you're doing landscapes, seascapes, and still lifes, portraiture, animal portraits, whatever it is that you're doing, you do not need all the colors. And even in abstract and contemporary work as well, I suggest that my students just stick with the limited palette and mix their own colors because it is through painting, through using these colors, that you get such a deeper understanding of how it all works. Because color theory in my head is, it's a lot, and it can be difficult for me to grasp. But if I'm using the colors and then I go and look into color theory, but I have the basis in the experience of playing with these colors that I do have, then when I go and look at color theory, it makes sense. So that's how I work. Other people work in the opposite way. They want to learn about it first and then apply it, whichever one works for you. But I really do highly suggest that you stick with a limited palette. Later on, when you really, really understand how color works, when you can pull off any kind of painting with a limited palette, then go ahead and add colors. But I think you'll probably find out that you really don't need to. Uh, so I think that that's really important. And if we bring this lesson from the studio into our daily lives, for me, uh, limiting my palette was a practice that I associate with meditation or journaling, right? Where I just kind of empty out all the extra stuff that's going on in my head and limit all those inputs and all of the extra stuff that just clutters my mind on a daily basis if I allow it. Let's say I get on a tangent and because I live on this small Greek island and we don't have pretty much anything here. There's only 500 people that live here in the wintertime. And, we don't have an art store. We don't have, a big, beautiful gyms. We don't have all of the luxuries, Italian restaurants. We've got a pizza place that stays open in the winter, but, we don't have any options. So I get on these, uh, rampages where I just wanna go live somewhere that's got all this other stuff that I can use, right? And it would be adding a bunch of other colors to my palette because my palette is, in fact, very limited here. It is the primary palette, probably not even with the burnt sienna. And what's the advantage to that? Well, I didn't expect it. I spent many years complaining, uh, bitching about, what I didn't have. And then I just began to focus on what I did have. And especially during COVID, where I had become practiced with this, yeah, exactly, exactly. Not having so many options would make it easier to focus, and that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what happened. I was able to focus in on what I did have, and when I focused in on what I did have, what was already present in my world all around me, I was shocked and amazed at how much abundance there was everywhere all around me. Even when I walked down the same path to go down to the beach to take my winter swim, the same road up and down every day throughout, especially during COVID times, right? Um, I saw something new every single day. I was able to open up my visual apparatus and be able to see things and notice things that I had never noticed before because my head was all full of other stuff. So I began to limit my own inner palette, and it was a blessing, honestly. It was something that, just, opened me up, to a new level of, gratitude to what I already had and all the abundance that is in my life. And it made living on this little island, a beautiful experience. So, I could have taken my little painting and poured a bunch of colors on it and just made this big gaudy thing with all these colors yelling for attention. The same kind of thing happens in my brain. All these thoughts come in and yell for attention. And if I let it all happen, I'm going to have a flop of a painting, a mess, a loud, noisy mess. And limiting my palette enabled me to also limit my thoughts and my thinking. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking about today, and hopefully, it's helpful to some of you out there. I think this way. I mean, while I'm painting, I come up with these. Oh, wow, limited palette has to do with my life, and I thought I would share that with you. So, hopefully, this is useful to you. And I'm going to sign off, and I'll have a new live stream coming up at the end of the week. All right. Thanks so much.